Case file 74B. Subject, forgiveness. Filed. After hours, investigator. Self-status, unresolved but evolving. Clock reads 2:46 a.m. Figures. This kind of work tends to show up when the city goes quiet, when there's no distraction left, and the only thing you hear is your own unfinished business pacing the floorboards. Forgiveness. That's what's on the desk tonight. Been circling this case for years now. Always thought it belonged to someone else. Never figured I'd be both suspect and witness. But here I am. At first, I treated forgiveness like a transaction. You hurt me, I withhold. You apologize, I consider. Maybe if the numbers feel right, I release. Simple, logical, but it never added up. Because the real damage wasn't in what they did. It was in what I kept reliving, the replays, the imagined conversations, the never-delivered confrontations. What I learned, too late for some, right on time for others, is that memory is sticky. It doesn't sit neatly in the past. It leaks into how you walk, how you trust, how you respond to people who didn't ask for your broken pieces. I used to think holding on meant I had control, but really, I just anchored myself to something that already drifted away. I was the ghost, haunting a room no one lived in anymore. And still, I couldn't let it go. See, forgiveness felt like losing. It felt like letting someone walk away clean while I still carried the bruise. So I chose silence. Coldness. Indifference as a disguise for protection. But indifference is a poor shield. All it does is keep the blade facing inward. Then, like any good investigator, I followed the trail. Only this time, it didn't lead back to them. It led back to me. To the moments I didn't speak up. To the compromises I called kindness. To the self-abandonment I justified in the name of keeping peace. Turns out, the most difficult person I had to forgive was the one writing this entry. I thought I was angry at them, but I was grieving the parts of myself I handed over without a fight. That's where patience entered the file, not just with others, but with the slower, less polished versions of myself who did the best they could with the tools they had. I began to soften, not because I'd healed entirely, but because I stopped expecting healing to arrive like a miracle. It doesn't. It arrives like breath. Slow, quiet, persistent. Some days, I still want to reopen the wound. Still want to relive the betrayal like it might teach me something new. But all it does is remind me that pain is a persuasive narrator, and you have to edit the story if you want to move forward. So I practiced forgiveness like an amateur carpenter, measuring, cutting, starting over. Each act a quiet offering to the part of me that wanted to feel whole again. I lit candles for closure I never got, wrote names on scraps of paper and watched them burn, whispered peace over the spaces where love used to live. And here's the truth I found buried under it all. Forgiveness isn't a gift you give them. It's a door you open for yourself when you're ready to stop living inside the hurt. There are still echoes, still moments where the sting surfaces. But now I meet them with awareness, not war. I've stopped trying to rewrite the past. Instead, I've chosen to revise who I am in its aftermath. When I forgive now, I do it with full memory. Not to excuse, not to erase, but to reclaim the parts of myself I left scattered in other people's storms. This work, it's not neat. It doesn't close with a satisfying click. It stays open, but it breathes easier now. Final note for the file. Sometimes the hardest case to solve is the one where you were both the crime scene and the responder. But even then, especially then, you still deserve peace.